Alright, I am live. YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Looks like I got a few viewers here with me this morning. This is Hanging with Dave. Pretty well, it's a little talk show or a little live stream I do every weekend here about this time. Pretty well just go down through the comments and answer the questions and give the subscribers a chance to hang out with me. Come on in if you have anything you want to ask me or anything like that. Throw it over there in chat and I'll be more than happy to help you out the best that I can. There's a few disclaimers that I throw out. Number one, I do drink me a cold Budweiser here while I do the show, so there is a little bit of alcohol involved. Cheers to y'all. Also, I am a truck driver by trade, so my language ain't always the best. You may hear a little cussing or a little foul language come out of me from time to time. I try to keep that to a minimum, but it does happen from time to time. As I go down through the comments and the questions, don't hate on me too bad if I butcher your guys' name. I'm not too good with the English language, let alone these YouTube handles. These YouTube handles get pretty gnarly sometimes, so yeah, there is that. I do have the dogs out of the cage, so you may hear some background noise from the dogs. Apologize for that up front. They ain't always the quietest. So yeah, you may have that as well. As far as the tech questions go, some of the answers I give maybe sound pretty basic to y'all, but I try to give you the best answers I can, or a good starting point to where I can lead you down the right path to fix your problems without having the system for my own diagnostics. It's kind of hard for me to tell you, hey, this here is exactly what your problem is. This is how to fix it. And as far as it goes, as far as a lot of these questions I get, well, I got this CPU, I got this RAM kit. What can I get out of it if I go to overclock it, and this and that. And I say it all the time, guys, I could have the exact same kit that what you guys have, the same CPU. I could have the same exact RAM kit that you got, same motherboard, and the overclocking may change. Just because I can get this out of mine don't mean you're going to be able to get the same out of yours. It just varies depending on your ports. And also, it's supposed to be the fun and the joy of overclocking, seeing what you can get out of your components. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. My dog's already whining at me. I don't know why, but I can't get him to go lay down. So if the camera starts shaking, it's him bumping against the desk and moving my camera. But anyways, let's get flipped over here and we'll get into this Q&A. Let's see here. Alright. Go lay down, Rufus. Go on. Go lay down. Go lay down. Alright guys, let me get you flipped over here to the desktop, and we'll start out with these Q&A and the comments that's been left this past week. Of course, my dog's already going crazy and I don't know what he's wanting, but whatever it is, he'll have to do without. Let's see here, we have Alcamil, I guess is the way you pronounce that. How to install a 280mm AIO in the Fractal Design Focus G case. Thanks for such a detailed guide. I'm planning to set my cell station in front with the tubes at the bottom and trying to figure out will it technically necessary to set up the pump with the logo horizontal orientation. If it's only question of aesthetics, I would orient it in a different to keep the tubes not so bent. If it's technically important to correct pump work or water flow or something like this, I would bend the tubes a bit more. As far as the water flow goes and whatnot for the pump on that, it really don't matter on the orientation of it. So yeah, I mean, you can put it in there either way. I think it'll fit two different ways on the CPU, and either way it will be all right. It shouldn't interfere with the pump flow or the water flow through the system. Should be all right. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you all up front here for the comments that's been left, the likes, the shares, you guys watching my videos. Really appreciate that. I don't want to say it in between each comment because this seems awful repetitive to me. So I'll say it now and I'll say it again towards the end. Let's see here. Next we got 4 days ago. We got BIA. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. Hello, thank you for making this tutorial. I tried to update my BIOS today using an external hard drive instead of a USB because I can't find any USBs in my house. Must have misplaced them. I'm having issues with the PC not being able to detect the update file. I already placed the file in both the hard drive and my internal drives in case it wasn't detecting the hard drive. Would you know what I need to do? Let's see here. Joe and Camelo Nagia, I guess is the way you pronounce that. He answered back. He says the same thing happened to me, but it's simple. Make sure the Gigabyte file you downloaded is unzipped so the QFlash can read the installation file. Which he's correct on that. Make sure it is unzipped. And now also check and make sure you're in your case it's an external hard drive. Make sure it's in FAT32 format. Sometimes they won't read it if it's in NFTS format. So yeah, I'd make sure it's unzipped and make sure that hard drive is formatted in FAT32. That way the motherboard could actually read it. That'd be my best advice on that one. CSGO hacks. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome so much. We got Chris Ginupini, I guess the way you pronounce that. Cooler Master Half XP Evo hard drive upgrade. How do you go about cleaning this case? Actually, this case is actually one of the easiest ones I've found to clean. You have the two side panels that come off. You have the top that comes out. And if you really want to give it a decent cleaning, you can even lift up the motherboard tray. Take the motherboard tray out. That way you can get down in that bottom chamber of it and give it a nice good cleaning that way. With the way that thing comes apart, it's pretty easy to clean that case. I usually use a Dynavac to blow the dust and stuff out for the big stuff. But yeah, I just pretty well rip it back apart pretty much. Like I said, you got 4 panels you remove and you can get all the way down into the bottom of it. It's a pretty easy one to clean. It's actually a lot easier to clean that case than it is a regular stand-up tire, I think. What else do we have here? We have Jonathan Flores, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM. I have two 8 gig Gigabytes Corsair Vengeance LPX 3200 Castellated 16 memory sticks and a B550 Oris M motherboard. XMP works just fine with one stick at 3200, but with both of them my games crashes and occasionally I blue screen. The memory is not on the QVL list. What can I do to have them both to run at full capacity? Just go in and manually overclock it like I showed you in the video how to overclock it. Like I said, a lot of times they won't they won't. These motherboards won't accept just the XMP, but if you take the same numbers and type them in manually, a lot of times they will accept them, and they will run at the speeds. So that would be my that'd be my best suggestion, is try to do the manual overclock. And even with the manual overclock, you may not be able to get quite to 3200, but you should be able to get it up close to it. Let's see here. We got Marcos Scorsese or something like that. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. He says, good stuff. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Juan Camilo Nagawa. He's the one that replied back to that other one. I want to thank you guys to try to help each other out here. I actually looked this one up. He says, hello, sorry for my bad English. I got the Oris B450 Pro Wi-Fi. My BIOS is version F41. Yesterday I decided to format and reinstall my Windows 10 system. Rufus, quit. Go lay down. Rufus, go. Go lay down. Yes. During the installation process, reaching the network configuration point, it shows me the blue screen asking for drivers. I have searched forums and portals. I have indicated that it may be the issue with version F41. It will be that I will have to update the F42E and then F50. Then he came back and says, I hope someone will help me. If it is present, the same error to install Windows 10, I have the Ryzen 5 3600 4.2 GHz and RTX 2070. I got a fear to do something wrong to go from F41 to F50, and the BIOS is damaged. Thanks. I think it's going to be thanks there. But I looked up his motherboard here. I got his BIOS pulled up here. This is for the B450 Oris Pro Wi-Fi. He says he's on F41, which is right here. It says, before updating BIOS to this new version, you must follow the steps as detailed under F40. Well, he's already got F40. He's already got F41. And you go on up through here, and they all say the same thing. You must follow the details up to F40. But since he's above F40, you should be able to go straight up to F51. You can skip the F42F, you can skip the F50, and go straight up to the F51 if you'd like to. If there ain't no little notes over here, like this, if you had to have a different BIOS version or whatever, it'd tell you. But as long as you're on F50, as long as you're on F40, you should be able to go straight up to the newest one with no problems. As far as the BIOS is what's stopping that, I think it was F40 that I had mine whenever I thought I bricked my motherboard, and here was a SATA port that was stopping it. I had to disconnect my SATA drive and it booted up fine. It must be something within that BIOS version on the Gigabyte motherboards, I guess. Let's see here, what else do we got here? Now this one here I had to put into Google Translate. Apparently it's Russian. Now I don't speak Russian. It says, but once it's translated over, it says flash drive, already good. There's only the rest to tell in Russian. Okay. If you want to translate it over into Russian, be my guest. You're more than happy. Let's see, who else do we got? We got Metal Corpse. How to overclock your Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H. Great video, Dave. I'd like to recommend some small things that could help improve your video overall quality. Consider a better mic. Some small sound proofing may be a green screen, so you could have a more interactive video. Regardless, The video is helped me figure out an issue I had with my PC I bought. Thanks. Well, you're welcome. Consider a better mic. I've actually been looking at some microphones. I've been actually considering on upgrade my mic. Which I know this one, like I said, you know, if you've watched my video about the equipment that I use, it's like a $20 lavalier mic that I use right now. And it's got some strange sounds going through it and whatnot from time to time, and it don't sound the best. I've actually been looking to buy me a wireless lavalier mic, and the reason is, you know, I got the Scarlett 2i2, which I've never really used, but with the way my setup is, you know, it's kind of hard for me to use that kind of setup with that kind of microphone. It's just easier to use lavalier mics, and if I get one that's wireless, the one I've been looking at, I don't know, I guess it's pretty cheap for a wireless lavalier mic, but it's about $130, $140 I was looking at spending on one. And what I found on YouTube and reviews of it, you know, it sounds pretty good to me. But that'll come in time. As far as the green screen thing, for the videos can have more interactiveness, maybe somewhere down the line. And the main reason behind that is just because they use the green screen and to do the editing behind the green screen and all that happy stuff. It takes a lot of time to do that kind of editing to get it to look right. And truthfully, I just don't have that kind of time to put into my videos. I mean, you know, if you see my other Hanging with Dave episodes, you know, I'm very limited on time and what I can get done and whatnot. Maybe in the future I'll look into a green screen, but right now I really just don't have the time to be messing with a green screen and learn how to do all the editing and whatnot for it. But you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could help you out fixing that PC that you bought. Let's see here. Who else do we got here? We have Guklama Masia, I guess the way you pronounce that. Not too sure. I had a doubt with the B450M motherboards. It says it comes with onboard graphics. Can I get a video out without graphics card when I pair a Ryzen 3600 with the B450M motherboards? And also, I like to know, use the onboard graphics. Thanks in advance. If you're going with the 3600, you'll have to have a video card. It does have video outs on these motherboards, but there is no, it ain't like the old days. Back in the old days, they used to be able to, they had an onboard video chip on the motherboard. Nowadays they don't have that. It all depends on the CPU you put in. To be able to use them video outs, you have to have a APU. If you don't have an APU, which 3600 don't have an APU, you ain't gonna be able to get a video out. You're gonna have to have a graphics card with the Ryzen 3600. The ones that have the onboard graphics or the APU to them would be like the 2200, 2400, 2200G, the 2400G, 3200G, 3400G. I believe all the what do they call them, the Athlons. I believe if they're AM4, the AM4 ones at least have onboard graphics on them. The one that fits into the AM4 socket. So you'd have to have something like that to be able to use them video outs on that motherboard. But for the 3600, you would have to have a GPU. We have Maxter 1787. Nice looking case. I love the original. What build are you thinking of for it? That was on the Fractal Design Masterfied C mini computer case unboxing and overview. I've actually got the build already done in the case. It's actually back there. It's already built. I've been working on editing that one out actually this morning, trying to get it ready for next week. But I'm going with the Ryzen 5 3600. I got a Gigabyte. What is it? 5600 XT graphics card. I got 16 gigs of G-Skill RAM. And of course the motherboard's the Asus Prime B550M A Wi-Fi with a 500 watt power supply and a 512 gig SSD. I actually bought that case to do the build-in. It's actually a $900 gaming build that should be up on the channel next week, hopefully, if I can get all the editing done and whatnot. So yeah, that's the build I'm putting together in it. Like I said, I'm hoping it should be done next week for me, for the channel next week. We have Gerald Shoop. The file isn't showing up, and that was on how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. Same as like last time when I answered that one. Make sure it's in FAT32 format if it's flash drive or a hard drive, either way. And make sure you unzip them files. If the files ain't unzipped when you put them onto the external drive, then it won't be able to read it. That would be my recommendation for that. A lot of times, it's what a lot of people don't understand is they have to unzip them, or it has to be a FAT32 format. Let's see here. What else do we got here? We got Doxkin, I guess. Doxkin. That's on the ViewSonic VA2759 SMH unboxing and overview. He says, nice unboxing and quick review, man. Looking at getting this bad boy. Yeah. It seems to be a pretty good little monitor. I actually use that as my secondary monitor now. I got a 4K monitor that I use in my main screen, which this week's video will be the unboxing and overview of the 4K monitor I picked up. Since I'm doing my videos now in 4K, which my live stream is still 1080p, but my videos is in 4K. I needed a 4K IPS monitor to be able to do my video editing. So yeah, I'm using it as my second monitor now, but it's still a pretty nice little monitor for being 1080p. I hope you enjoy that monitor when you get it. Let's see here, we have Volgaga Crustafall, I guess the way to pronounce that. Overclocking Your Ram. Thank you, sir. You are the best. It was a great help. I subbed. Well, thanks for the sub. I'm glad I could help you out with that. I'm glad you got your RAM up there where you want it to be. Let's see here. We have Kentinthis Dilastic, I guess. How to overclock your RAM. He says B-die at 3800 megahertz on a cheap ass Gigabyte board. Yeah, it's then sometimes them cheap ass motherboards will actually surprise you on what you can actually get out of your performance reports. And that's basically as far as the speeds and whatnot, that's usually on the chipset that controls that. So yeah, it's the B450 chipset for you. Let's see, anything else coming in lately? That was one day ago. Nope, don't look like we got anything else. For you guys that's watching, if you guys got any questions or comments or concerns or any advice for me for what I'm doing here on the channel, throw it up there in chat. Let's see, I don't need that one no more. I'm done with that one. But I think it's going pretty well going to do it up for the Q&A and going through the comments. I've already went through my comments and everything else that I had for this week. So if anybody that's in chat has anything to say or anything they want to ask or anything like that, throw it over there in that chat box and I'll be more than happy to answer you the best that I can. Got a niche. Sorry about that, guys. But anyways, on another note, the channel's been doing pretty good. Let me get pulled up here, see what it's up to now. But so we got 732 subscribers now, which is good. We've gained 27 in the last week, which is a good thing. I like watching the community grow. I like watching when you guys answer each other back in the comments and whatnot, trying to help each other out. That's what I like to see. I like to thank y'all that watch my videos. I want to thank y'all that throws in comments and you throw the likes out there for me, and throw the shares out, share my videos, and it makes me feel good. I say it just about every time, but when I started this channel, I didn't think that I'd even have 700 subscribers. Hell, I didn't even think I'd ever have 100 subscribers, let alone 700. So I must be doing something right. I want to thank y'all, I appreciate it, and I'm trying to get better at this. If my dogs would leave me alone. Quit, boys. Quit. I'm almost done. Go lay down somewhere. Mr. Speedy, how are you, sir? I am great. How about yourself? How you find yourself on this Saturday? I hope everything's going well with you. Like I mentioned a few seconds ago, or a few minutes ago, however long it's been, this week's video is going to be on the budget 4K monitor I picked up for my system. Next week I'm hoping to have that $900 gaming build video up, which if you watched many of the last few videos I've got up, there's been quite a few unboxings and overviews. Them's pretty well most of the parts that's going into the system, or what's worth overviewing anyways. Which it's also was one of the questions was what kind of build I was putting in that Messified C mini case. So yeah, there's that coming up. I haven't got to run the benchmarks on that one yet, so I'll have benchmarking on it. I'm also looking to use that $900 system as the basis for a cheaper way or a budget way of adding ARGB or RGB or LED lights to a case to your computer. So I'm going to use that one for quite a few videos coming up. So you'll be seeing that $900 bill in quite a few videos. But with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the day, guys. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. Ain't really nothing that's really came into chat, so I done went through all my questions and comments for this past week, and I do have some stuff here around the house I need to get done up. And my dogs is not wanting to behave. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here for the day, guys. If you made this far and you liked what you seen, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. There's that comment section below. I'll go through them every weekend like I did today in the live stream. If you really like this kind of content, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, that way you're notified next time I put out a video I go live. And also, if you go down in the description, there's links from my Instagram and Twitter. I don't kill your inbox, but I do put up photos of new hardware and whatnot I've had coming in for the upcoming videos. Kind of gives you an idea of what's coming up on the channel. Also, that's where I post that I go live from my weekend show, or if I go live any other time, or if I got canceled for some reason. That's where you'll get notified of that kind of stuff. But with all that being said, sir, tell me about bottleneck. What bottleneck you talking about, bud? Mr. Spidey, what kind of bottleneck you talking about? Talking about a GPU bottleneck? You talking about a CPU bottleneck? Or are you talking about the bottleneck that's on my beard? It's talking about bottlenecking inside of a computer system. GPU bottleneck. The GPU bottleneck. More or less, the GPU bottleneck is where your CPU can't throw enough frames at your GPU for it to render out. Best way to tell if you have a GPU bottleneck going on, or a CPU bottleneck, whatever the bottleneck is in the system, would be to download something like MSI Afterburner, watch your numbers, and if your CPU or your GPU, either one, is hitting 100% and the other one ain't hitting 100% or hitting close to 100%, that there's going to be that's going to be the bottleneck. Whichever one ain't hitting 100% usage, and either your CPU's holding back your GPU or your GPU's holding back your CPU, whichever. Let's see here. If I buy the Ryzen 3 2200G and a GPU of 710, what will be the results? GPU of 710. You talking about the GTX 710? If you're looking at the Ryzen 3200, which is 4-core CPU, that 710 will definitely be the bottleneck. That 2200G being a quad core like it is, you can get a lot more performance, a lot better graphics card to pair up with it. Yes sir, the GTX 710. Yeah, if you're looking to put the 710 with the 2400, it'll definitely, your CPU will be holding, or your GPU will be holding back your CPU. Even quad cores nowadays, you can go with a lot higher GPU and still be alright with them. I mean, you'd get your max performance out of the GTX 710. So your 2200G wouldn't be holding back your GPU in that case. You're welcome. I hope I kind of answered you, but yeah, that 2200G could do a lot better than the 710. The 710 would be running its max compatibility or capabilities. But I'm gonna get off here for the day, guys. Take my doggies out and let them use the restroom and all that good happy stuff. See what I can get into around here at the house. Then I gotta get back into editing that video for next week. And build videos actually take quite a while to get edited out and whatnot. So with that being said, hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, or what's left of it. I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Take care.